Hey, hey, hey. Hey, how y'all doing? It's your girl, Nelly D, on the Nelly Drayton Show, where creatives gather and I don't know, we try to figure it out, you know? And of course, I'm not on this mic alone. I got LOL probably true. And he's at LOL probably true on IG. Show him some love.
Thank you, Nelly. It's been a long time. Glad to be back. And of course, it is my job as the co host to introduce the host of the show, Nelly Drayton. That is Nelly Drayton across all social media platforms. Please show her some love.
Show me love. Listen, we was talking off this mic. We was saying some stuff and getting into some stuff and saying this and that and all that good stuff. But you know what we about to do? We about to put it on the mic. I know it's been a long time. Who sings that song? Timbaland and Aaliyah. It's been a long time. Shoulda left. You did a dope beat to step to. We yeah. We definitely it's been too long. We about to would you say that this episode's going to be basically like a
The catch up. This is going to be our catch up episode because it's been some months since y'all have heard from us. Granted, we have been talking and we have been catching up. Y'all have not been catching up, so we're going to get y'all caught up. Okay.
okay, come on. And we talking about when he says ketchup, we not talking about the
Oh my
sauce.
God, girl, no. I thought I made that abundantly clear. That was not it before we did the. Oh my God. Okay, well, you done said it now.
It's on. Let's just you know what? We about to just get into it. Let's get it. Mm-hmm. Okay,
All
so
right
boom.
now.
Okay, so boom, so
Okay.
boom. Do you want to update them first, or do you want me to do it? Because mine's is hot and heavy.
Yeah, you got a lot. You got a lot to discuss. I'll start. I guess the latest. I mean, obviously, if you have been following along for some time now, then there's a little bit of a reason why we have been doing audio only. So, as an update for that, that little situation has not been completely resolved yet. However, it is coming to an end soon, so you'll get to see at least my gorgeous face soon. So, um, so we should be back on camera sooner than later. However, there's an update on that. I guess another update for me is I did just happen to win a tournament just the other day.
Hold
So you are
up.
now
Where's the
talking
town?
to oh
Go ahead.
oh you are now talking to a 3-time hot mess champion. So
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. You're probably wondering, wait a minute, the Drew that we know is usually like loud and obnoxious and annoying and too much and yeah, all those other adjectives that describe me. So I celebrated my victory on Sunday and I may have gone just a little too hard.
Mm.
And I don't know if this is prevalent for you or like if this makes sense, but you know what they say, like when you like do things that like give you like a lot of like serotonin, like that like the drug that your body makes that like makes you feel good. When you get like
Think
too
so.
much of that, like there's like a come down period.
Ooh. Oh,
I
like
think that's
kind of like when you're traveling and you gotta like, uh, oh Lord, what is it called? Oh my goodness.
like okay, it's like you go to an amusement park and you like ride rides all day, and then you get home and you're like drained, done, can't take it.
Mm-hmm.
That's me right now. Like I celebrated. I had too much fun on Sunday. First of all,
Mm-hmm.
it was a lot of fun playing kickball, and we won, which wasn't like, I'm not gonna say wasn't like shocking because we were like killing it the whole season, but it was really fun. Who doesn't want to win? And then we like celebrated the rest of the evening, and I think I just got a little carried away because I haven't really like gone out in a while, and so like I just went like really hard. And
Okay.
like yesterday, I was dead yesterday. Like I couldn't do anything. And I think I have some residuals from that today. So if I sound really like downcast or like, I know I like sound like I got my ASMR voice right now.
Ooh, most
It's because
definitely.
I'm still, I'm still on like a low from being too high for like 2 days. So
Mm.
yeah,
But you
yeah,
won. You won a tournament.
I
It's like
did win,
kudos.
and I played. I mean, I would say it's like some of my best gameplay. Like I was the best gaming that I've ever done as far as like playing kickball. It was my best game ever. So I was very like proud of myself. My team played really well. Very proud of them. The other team that we played against played really well, so it was like a really challenging tournament. That's what probably made it feel more like of an accomplishment because it wasn't like I mean, we did win 10-0, but
Oh
it
wow.
was like,
Oh,
yeah, we
okay.
kind of ate them up a little bit. No shade though, no shade, but they did play really really well, and it was a really challenging game. Like it wasn't an easy a game by no
Mm.
means. So it was really really fun. We just kind of got ahead and ran away with it, but it was really fun. I'm still single, so y'all can go ahead and keep sliding them DMs, please and thanks. If you have like a cousin or, maybe like an older brother that send them my way because I'm still very much single. So I guess that's not really much of an update, honestly. Well, no, there is an update. I was talking to a little something something, and that fell through because he got weird, and we can definitely dive into that a little bit because I have no problem throwing all of his mess out on the street. Period. Um,
Ah.
so there is an update. I was seeing someone for probably about a good 2 months, and then they got like really really weird on me. We'll get into that a little bit later. Um, Outside of that, I mean, no, I don't think there's much else. My two best friends are working on having a baby,
Oh, congratulations.
and yes, congratulations, Caitlin's and Bree. Shout out to you guys. I did share they had like a little like GoFundMe thing to help with the funds,
Yeah.
funding the process. I definitely shared that. So I was gonna say, y'all go to our page and find it, but it's not my page. But anywho, um, outside of that, I don't think there's anything else for me to update you guys. I'm sure as the episode goes, I'll like have something pop up and
Yeah.
we can get into it. But the real meat and potatoes of this conversation right here is not going to be had by me. I know, shocker, right? No. Today, Miss Nelly has got some major updates, some major catching up to do with y'all. Because now this is gonna be a unique episode because as we all know, Nelly has a track record of not sharing her business. So this is gonna be a really special episode because I think Nelly is gonna let us have it today.
What?
I sure hope so because I would love for you to share with the fans your your tea as I
I
sip
feel
on
like,
mine.
but I don't feel like it's that deep. I don't think the tea is that. It's not that. It's not that
Mm,
caffeinated. It's not.
you don't think? Because I think it
No.
is.
I
I
mean,
mean, without giving away too much details, I think if you do the bare bones of the situations, yeah, girl, it's pretty meaty.
okay. See, now I'm kind of confused because I'm like, what? I feel like you know more about my life than
There's
I
like
know
two
more about.
situations that if you talk about it, it's going to be like, juicy.
Now I'm over here. Is it the most recent? With
Of course, girl. Yeah.
okay, that's the one. Okay. I was like, to me, if I was to be completely honest, that doesn't even feel meaty or like that doesn't feel like tea. It feels like, life just does its
Well,
thing and it is
it's
what it
definitely
is.
not tea for you because it's like real. But for, the listeners, oh, it's tea.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
tea.
Well, we can
You know what I'm
kind
saying?
of we can float. We can sit up. Let's paddle on in a canoe over this topic,
Oh.
this wave of a topic. As far as
Mm.
updates for me, I basically things basically worked out in my favor as they always do because
Mm.
rightfully so. I genuinely care about the health and wealth of who's in my life and who I'm responsible for. And some things happen the way they happen because people just don't want to be held accountable. And of course, things work out for
Right.
me because I'm willing to be held accountable. It's kind of why like doing this podcast is like challenging because in its own way, we're constantly being held accountable to each other because we're trying to match up with what we're giving to you guys. So it's like if I'm a creative out here and I'm saying like, work on communicating, work on, not. Uh, don't be dating until you're done being single, and connect with the right people, and just be aware of your surroundings, and really connect with people that are like-minded, and know what do you require in friendships, and blah 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 blah. Like we're doing all these things, and we're talking about all these things, and overall I tell myself that I'm holding myself to the same standards that I'm putting with the information that I'm putting out there. So as far as like being a great mom, everyone knows. If you don't know, now you know. I love being a
Now
mom.
you know.
I love my daughter. I would do anything for my daughter. I'm literally her number one advocate, her hype man, her biggest hype man. I always tell her like I'm your mommy first and your best friend second. Um, I really just, I goes hard for my baby, and I made sure I did that. And basically I got what I needed out of the situation that recently took place. And even though it hurts, half of it is very hurtful because of the reality.
Mm,
Like Drew said, like it
yeah.
might seem like it's tea, a little bit of tea, because I'm going surface level. I can't give y'all details. But just know that people are being held accountable, and whether or not they want to be accountable or not, like it's always gonna show who is really down for the cause and who isn't. And so I've been focusing on just being more mindful and just redirecting my parenting style. I feel like that's really what it is. I haven't really been focused on the podcast. I've been like playing games and like trying to tap back into like my inner child, because I'm like my daughter's going to need me in different ways and she's normally needed me. And
Yeah.
so all this stuff that's been going on is back and forth and stuff that's been going on between just who all is involved with my daughter, and who has a say in her life and who doesn't. It's just definitely put me in some spotty conversations and situations, and like I said, in the end, basically, I can't even say I won. I want to say my daughter won, because her feelings
Yeah.
were heard, and
Hmm.
she's a very bright and very smart young lady. And even though she's so young, but she's so wise. She's been here before. I'll be calling her granny, and people be laughing because they're like, "You be calling your daughter granny?" I'm like, "Yeah, because she's been here before." Like, I don't think y'all understand. Sometimes I'll talk to my daughter, and she'll talk to me like she was here before me. So that's granny. Like she's been here. So I'm her advocate. I'm her number one advocate. And I like I said, she basically she got vindicated for 100%. And that's one
Hmm.
T. The other T, I don't know what the other T is. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know.
Well. I mean, I don't want to share your own tea,
Just give me
but
like a give.
it was gonna be kind of like a topic of conversation, not necessarily like that situation, but that was gonna be like a Kickstarter, about narratives and whatnot.
Oh yes. Oh yes. Okay. I get what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So honestly, and kind of one of the reasons why, ooh, deja vu. I feel like we've had this conversation before.
Well,
Ooh.
we've had it for like the last 3 days.
Oh my God,
We've been
that's
talking
deja
about
vu
it.
too. What you just said.
Oh my god, she's having a moment. Y'all forgive her.
Oh my goodness. Am I glitching into the matrix? Huh. I feel
It
like I
might
do that a
be.
lot lately. Um, well, basically, just to kind of get to a more understanding point for you guys, it's how do I say this without sounding super messy? It's gonna sound messy. Basically,
Well, I mean,
what
yeah.
we're we're going to be talking about a lot of things, and like Drew said, we're going to be catching up because there's a lot of good, a lot of bad, a lot of ugly, a lot of necessary things that's been happening. And the main thing
Mm,
that I've picked up in all of the things I've experienced recently is that people really try to control the narrative of who you are. And it's like,
yeah.
you thought you ate, but you didn't. You think you know me, but you don't. And you're running your mouth and you're talking about me and you're saying what you're saying, and people coming back and saying stuff. And the whole time you have
Mm,
no idea that the people that you're running your mouth to coming back and saying what they
mm,
saying. So now you look silly because you're trying to control the narrative. And that's fine. Like Flo Millie
mm,
said, I think it's crazy how they play the narrative. F with they minds. I
mm.
don't get out of character. Wait. I be heating up. I got to reload.
Oh, here you
Anyway.
go.
I was ready because she ate when she said that. She said, "I think it's crazy," because it is crazy. I'm a
It
demon
is crazy.
child. I'm evil. I'm the spawn of Satan. I'm a loser. If I were to tell you all the things that people have been saying about me recently, some people will be shocked. Some people be like, Psh, whatever, you deserve that. And then it's like, whatever. Because at the end of the day, you still got to pay your bills over on your side of the world. You still got to do what you got to do, go to work, deal with the relationship that you kind of don't want to be in, but you're in it anyway because you're bored. Whatever the case may be on
Mm.
your end, you know? But yeah, that's just it is what it is, and that's just the way the cookie crumbles. People try to control the narrative and say what they say because what? What is it? What do you get out of controlling my life? What do you get out of saying who I am and who I'm not?
More
What do you get out of
control because they probably lack a lot of control in their own life.
Oh,
Ooh,
hmm.
sorry. Sorry, if
Wow.
anybody feels called out,
Uh,
sorry about
wow. I
it.
think you
Sorry
just
about it.
touched like on all my haters.
Well, yeah, any hater, really.
Yeah.
Anybody's hater probably feels very like that. That tone's very pointed. I'm like, it is. Because let me tell you something. Oh, wait a minute. There is an update over on the Zan. Okay, let me explain because that reminded me.
Ooh,
I am no longer in my soft boy era.
ooh,
I am now in my I would problems always.
glad.
That's where I'm at right now. You want to know why? It has something to do with that freaking weirdo that I dated for 2 months. Oh,
Mhm.
sorry, I can't say dated because when I told him that he was breaking up with me, he said like he pretty much shamed me for even assuming that because we had only gone on a couple of dates. Oh, look, we can get into it. I told you I don't give a hot diggity dog to get messy on this podcast about that man. Look, I'm woken up now. I
Yeah.
don't.
Oh,
I
he's
don't get.
sitting
Yeah,
up.
I done got my second wind because talking about controlling narratives. Talking about controlling narratives. You want to know the part about controlling narratives that I think is the most frustrating is when people assume things about you without knowing you hardly at all, and then treating you some kind of way based off of their own assumptions, and then feel justified in doing that because they think that they know you. Now, stay with me now.
Oh, I'm
Does that
trying.
not sound crazy?
It
Does that
it
not
sounds
sound
crazy. Oh yeah.
wild?
Yeah.
As a man of a big age, which I will not disclose my age, but as a man of a grown age, we don't play them kind of games when it comes to dating. We
Mhm.
don't. And, you know, I'm not going to say no names because I'm not going to do that. I'm not that messy. I really would say their name because I'm pretty sure they do, keep tabs because they know about all the stuff that I do. So I'm sure they've been keeping tabs.
Mhm.
Let me say this. Sometimes the way you treat people, should always matter because
Mhm.
you don't know on what part of a journey a person is on when you're meeting them. And for me, see, I wish that I could get my ex on here so he could tell y'all how I used to be when I was like 19, 20 years old
You
because
would want the
that
smoke.
was a scary individual. That was a
Ooh.
scary young man. Because at that point, I had taken no L's in life and did not foresee any L's in my near future.
Okay.
So the way that I was navigating the world was no fear of loss, period. So I was
Okay.
winning no matter what. So
Oh.
reckless, mouthpiece, crazy, on 10. I have really calmed down over the years because I have taken L's. And I
Mm.
have learned some things, and I have learned, pace and tolerance and whatnot. After that situation, right there, where I realized that all that work that I do for some people means absolutely nothing, and
Mhm.
so it's like I don't think from this point forward that people are going to get that really really healed version of me off rip.
Oh.
I think you're going to have to earn that,
Ooh.
because I'm tired of feeling like I place my heart in people's hands and give them the power to do whatever they want to do with it, trusting them because I know my issues, I know my problems, but I'm
Mhm.
giving you the one thing that I still have trust in, which is my heart, and then you do things to like shred that up, and then that becomes only my responsibility to pick the pieces up. after
Yeah.
you get to shred it all up to pieces and then walk away unscathed. No
Mm.
more. No more. Not that I was in love with this young man or anything. No, but I did, turn a corner as far as like looking at relationships a little bit differently at that point. And I was looking for something rather serious. Before I kind of was just like always playing it cool, like, oh, if we date, we date. If we don't, we don't. No, I made it very clear to this man, and it made me feel very insecure because I told him very clearly, look, I'm ready to like lock it up. I don't
Yeah.
want to date anymore. I don't like dating. I don't like going out. I want to have something serious. Like I made it very clear, and I stood on business, on big business, big back business,
Not
on
big
having a
back.
relationship for this year. And he took that, and there were some things that had happened throughout the year that like he really made me feel like, okay, like this is why I should trust myself. And then at one moment happened where I guess he saw the crack in my almost perfect persona. He saw a
Oh.
crack and saw some humility and decided to take advantage of that and find a way out. And to me that was like really manipulative. Very, very
Mm.
manipulative. And I'm not going to go back to who I was as far as dating goes, because I think back in in my past, as far as like the last maybe like 6 years, dating has just not really. It. I wasn't dating. I was talking to people and disposing of them, and I
Yeah.
don't feel happy about that. Don't feel good about that. But that's what it was. From this point forward, you're gonna have to like earn. Like you're gonna have to earn some things from me. Like if I like you enough to even like have conversation with you outside of like social media or whatever dating app, then that's you got a foot in the door, baby. But you don't
Mm-hmm.
get the soft, healed version of me quite yet.
Ooh.
No. Because if I have to walk away from a situation again feeling like I got played by a two,
Oh, wow.
I'm gonna have a real hard time bouncing back from that one because I really felt like I got played by a two.
Mm.
Sorry, not sorry. I wasn't
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't trying to marry the man because he looked like, Chris Brown. He had a good job and he was
Mm-hmm.
stable.
Yeah.
Like some real qualities outside of like the appearance of a person. But it
Mm-hmm.
was the attitude and quote unquote not breaking up with me, but like dumping me or whatever you want to call it. I don't even know what you want to call it. But it was the attitude behind it. And it's like, woo, you speaking with your chest, friend. You don't even really got one
Oh,
while you
wow.
talking
Mm.
with that little bird chest.
Ooh.
Okay?
Birdman.
You talking real stern with a chest that you don't got.
Mm.
That's wild. That is wild behavior in 2024. That's crazy. Yeah. If you want to talk about a humbling experience, yeah, that humbled me to no end. And I was like, you know what? At the end of the day, men are men. A man will make a mockery out of you no matter what. It don't matter. They look in the mirror and say, I got time today. That's crazy.
And looking like
That's
how they be
crazy to
looking,
me.
eating
And
how they
looking
be
how they be
eating.
looking, and they ain't no business talking to me no kind of way.
Yeah.
Not knowing me, like what I'm, because I'm gonna tell you what, I'm only a mm,
Mm.
where's my drink?
Mm.
I
Mm.
need to take a, I
Mm.
need to take a beat. I need to take a beat, honey.
It's okay though, because
Mm,
this is a catch up episode for a reason. Because y'all need
mm,
to know, like, listen,
y'all
man,
need
being a
to know.
creative, it's not easy. I know
Mm-mm.
that oftentimes you go back and if you listen to our previous episodes, we try to talk about some productive steps to take in life, right? To navigate as a creative, because I'm a firm believer that creatives are the elite. I personally think that the we are the exception to the rules. And I'm not talking like, pay your taxes type rules. I'm talking like uh, you know, thinking that you need a mass following to be successful. Like we are like, no, we're gonna start off with zero. We're gonna literally start from the bottom and work our way up to the top. And
Okay.
oftentimes the things that we're trying to build, Sometimes it gets a little pooped on by people who don't even know what it means to build anything, who don't even have any, like people who, we
Mhm.
said this in a previous episode, people who try to construct or try to criticize, but they don't know how to construct, like constructive criticism. You ain't never construct
Mm.
nothing a day in your life, but you want to critique.
Ooh,
So it's
you've
like,
constructed the nerve to talk people crazy. That's about it.
you constructed the
You
nerve.
constructed this idea that you think you can talk to me crazy. That's what's crazy.
I mean, because creatives are elite people. We're different. We think different. We breathe different. We eat different. We feel different. It's just the way it is.
I
And
do
everybody
eat
in their own
different.
ways.
That's right. Yeah.
We be elite, okay? We do things a little different. We do different things and do it differently over here, okay? And sometimes
Yeah.
people like, I think that sometimes when we experience, maybe not specifically what you experience, but when we experience a hater, they're like a closeted hater. They don't realize it until eventually they say it with their chest, or they try to,
Yeah.
what, like with my situation, they try to say that call you names, to your child, like you're a loser, you suck, you're terrible. And one day your child is going to see that you're a loser. People, it's like, what was the
It's
point?
crazy stuff.
What's the point of people feeling the need to go that far? What's the point? Old boy said what he said to you with his chest held up high, probably had one little string of
Ugh.
hair on it, and had the nerve to keep going anyway. And if he was, it was really crazy. He's a two. I didn't know he was a two. I thought he
Oh
was a little
yeah.
bit more than a two.
I
That's kind of messed
mean,
up. Not even like
I don't
a
know. At
two
that,
plus plus.
wow. Look, at that time, my grade, my self grade had gone down a little bit. I wasn't looking at myself like a 10, which I still don't look at myself like a 10, but I'm definitely
Oh,
like an 8.5, like without a doubt. Like I would love for someone to question that. Please do, because
oh,
that's crazy.
yep,
You question that. But at the time, I was definitely feeling more like a 7, maybe 7 on a good day. I was
yeah.
feeling like a 7 on a good day, and so and honestly, I was really trying something different. But this is like the second time that I've done that, where I was like, you know what, I'm gonna like go for the person that I like would in any reality I would never go for them, just to see, because
Ooh,
well, and honestly, that's why my dating history is so vast, because like I'm always just like, well, I don't like creating a situation where I'm putting myself in like a scenario where like my options are limited.
yeah,
Like, so I was like, let me just date the kind of guy that I would never normally date. And the reason why I would never normally date him, these type of guys, is because of the way I think. Like I always think of like, okay, if I bring this person around my friends, how are they gonna like receive this young man? And then I was like, I don't care, because I, if my friends love me, they will love whoever loves me too. And that was my thought process.
yeah.
However, when I told them of, one of our situations, they were like, you need to get out of there now. I was like, oh.
Oh,
And they turned out to be right. I didn't trust them, and they were right. However,
mm,
however, let me touch on something real quick. Um, there's a phenomenon going on right now. Look at, why are you making
phenomenon.
that face, girl?
I mean,
You making that face. There's a phenomenon going on right now. That phenomenon is called imposter syndrome. I know we've spoken about it a little bit. I know we have.
we have.
However, I was actually dating an imposter. Like I was. And that's crazy. Let me explain. So when I met him, he
Okay.
knew that I did the podcast. He knew at the time that I was doing all my streaming. He knew at the time that I was doing all my sports. He knew at the time that like really I only may have like 2 actual days, maybe, that I have like a little bit of time for myself. He knew that when we first started talking. I told him everything. I mean, I really tried to create any situation where there was stones unturned. I tried to turn them for this
Hmm.
man. So why is it that the problem that arose from the situation was that he didn't like that I didn't have enough time for him? And it's like,
Uh,
let me ask you this, Fran. what did you expect was going to happen? You was going to what? Pop in my life and do absolutely nothing. And I was just going to drop everything for you?
Right.
No. If you had a problem with it, guess what? At what time in us talking should you have said something about it? Day 1, not day 60. That's crazy.
Mm.
You don't come to me talking about you don't have enough time for me on month 2 of us talking. Excuse me. You've known this. And there's no way that in 2 months, one day, this just became a problem. There's no way. You had a problem about it the whole time. He also was a imposter because he led me to believe that he had his emotions in check. He did not. He
Ooh.
did not have his emotions in check. And look, I'm all about humility and humanity, and I know that people are human and they make mistakes and they're whatever. I get it. I understand. Don't lead me on to believe that you're some really emotionally mature person, and then expect me to just get on board with you spiraling one day on me.
Oh boy.
No, I can't do that because up until 30 days ago, I thought you were somebody who could have a mature conversation about something, even if you were upset about it. Turns out that's not the case.
Yeah.
So, yeah, needless to say, that happened. This all happened around what? January, February, around the new year. I haven't been talking to nobody since. Not seriously. I've talked to a couple people, but ain't nobody coming over to my home.
Yeah.
I ain't going over to nobody else's home. I ain't got on no dates. Cause that threw me for a loop.
Yeah.
A huge loop. That was crazy. Crazy wild behavior.
I
And he was,
mean,
and get this, and I'm a dead it on this one. He
oh.
was older than me.
Oh wow.
He was older than
That'll
me.
do it. That'll do it for me.
That'll motherfucking do it. That'll really do it.
That
And I'm
definitely
gonna be
would do
dead
it.
on that one because that was wild.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I think I've met an older guy who was low key crazy, and everybody that was close to me, friends, just friends, and a little bit of family, they
Excuse
were
me.
looking at him what's wrong with you? Are you good? They was looking at him like something's not right because you got a few loose screws. What little baby said, you got some loose screws. But that's always gonna blow my
It's
mind.
concerning when you meet someone who's older than you. I mean, I guess age doesn't really equate to maturity, but
Yeah.
when you think about someone who's older, you think of life experiences. You think about the world sometimes molds people into a more hardened version of themselves. You would think, right? And then you meet
Mm-hmm.
someone who's a little bit older than you, and then you're like, oh no, you're literally stuck in 19 years old. That's crazy.
And you're
That's wild.
a 30 or 40-year-old stuck in a 19-year-old. Wait,
Very
you're
that.
re,
Very that.
yeah, you're
Look,
30, but you got the mind of a.
being youthful is fine. If you're a person who still wants to be spontaneous and have fun, that's fine. But
Mm-hmm.
it's the emotional maturity part that nah, baby, you should have worked on that a little bit up until this point.
Mm-hmm.
I shouldn't be teaching you nothing about your emotions, not to this extent, not at your age, friend.
Not at your
No.
big age, as we
At
say.
your
Your
big back age. No.
not
No.
the big back age.
No, I shouldn't be having to teach you. You should be teaching me.
Yeah,
And I know I need to learn some more about my emotional maturity, but I ain't got no business teaching nobody nothing.
and that's crazy. And stuff like that is
Crazy.
why that's why I hold tight to my single title. And I know it sounds so lame, but sometimes I be thinking I wonder if there's an ex out there who might randomly post a picture or post pictures and I'm in it and don't think to crop me out. And I don't know. Oh, that's super random. But then I think about stuff like that sometimes because I'm people will say so and so posted this photo or so and so posted this or da 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 da, and I be thinking to myself I'm single. I don't care what nobody posts about me. If you don't see me, if they didn't tag me in the photo, we not cool. They're officially an off. And it's
Okay.
People they just do weird things, and I'm single through and through until you see me with a ring on my finger and I'm pregnant. Take that back. I don't think I
Okay.
want any more kids because I keep saying that,
Oh,
and I'm like, no. But then you know how there's like that conversation, that topic of when you meet someone, and if they are serious with you, they're gonna ask, "Do you want more kids?" Because I ain't got none, and or I got one, but I would like one with
hey, then
us.
that means you wasn't working hard enough, baby. Because no,
What you mean?
like no.
No,
If I get in a relationship
no,
with someone and they're like, "Do you want to have children?" No, no, I do
no,
not.
no.
We missed that train, baby.
He said,
That
"No, I
train
do
has
not."
that, yeah, that train has departed. And now look, I love you. You know how I am with kids. I'm away with your daughter. I love kids. I love being
Mhm,
around children. That's fine. But those
mhm.
kids go home. You know, those
Yeah,
children go back to their parent, and
yeah.
their parents get to take responsibility for feeding that young person and clothing that person, make sure they're
No.
taking a shower and washing their ass. That's their responsibility. I don't want no part of that because I got to do that for me,
Mhm.
and I have a hard time with that sometimes. Sometimes I don't want to get up. I don't want to wake up yet. You can't.
Yeah.
That's not an option when you have a child.
Ooh.
Uh.
And speaking of
That's
people
not an
who don't want to get
option.
up,
Speaking of
and
options
uh,
with children,
uh, because apparently you can just give up when you don't want to.
apparently,
Never
apparently there's
mind.
a lot of options for some people when it comes to being a parent. Well, for some,
Yeah,
there's not any options. You
I
just got
didn't
to be a
know it.
parent. That's crazy.
I recently
Wow.
discovered, again,
You
going
learned a
back
lot.
into the hot tea. I recently discovered that apparently if you don't want to be a parent, you can take a break. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Well, when's your break? When do you get to take your break?
I don't know
Oh,
because even when my child isn't with me, she's still texting me, so I don't know.
well, the person that's supposed to take over for you for when you take your break is currently on a break and has, in my opinion, been on a break for years. But not my business. Sorry.
But that's none of my business. None of my business. It's none of my business. I mean, that. All I'm gonna say
I'm just
is it is what
saying.
it is, and it is what it ain't. Cause
Okay.
that's my baby. I'm gonna do what got to be done. Cause one day she's gonna be old enough to drive me somewhere, and I sleep in the passenger seat of the car. You know what I'm saying? She
All
want to do
right.
something. She want to go on a cabin trip or whatever. She gonna remember all the times that mommy was there, 10 toes, and didn't just talk about it,
Mm,
and didn't have to talk nasty about
mm,
nobody else to prove that
mm-mm.
I'm a good person.
And look, and let it just be known for the record, in case people want to go ahead and tune in. It's not talking trash about somebody when it's facts.
Well,
Okay. So
and if
let's go
they
ahead and make that clear that if there's somebody who wants to go ahead and report something back to somebody, you go right on ahead. I would love for somebody to fact check the conversation because there's receipts, baby.
and he is. And the best part is this is not happening in front of my child. Who?
No, it's not.
Who?
And it don't matter what two adults have to say about another adult who is not doing their part.
Mm. And then
Because at
there's
the end of
no,
the day, nobody's checking me, but I
oh,
check myself.
well,
Period.
well, well,
And if
well,
somebody
well.
is checking me, you come on,
Well, at the end of the day,
check me.
the best part about being accountable on your own terms is that you're looking
Mm,
to make sure that you're accountable. And even if you are not 100%, you're doing things like going to therapy, which is something that I'm willing to do to make sure that my relationship with my daughter is okay, unlike other people. I'm willing to do what
and
needs
you
to
were
be
doing that
done.
prior, anyways.
I
So
sure was. I've been doing therapy since 2019. So
facts.
shout out to Maria for hooking me up because I have not left that therapist since. She has my back. She's
Facts.
always like really speaking love over me and just like reminded me of healthier ways to think and healthier way to process things or communicate things. Just different ways because the way that I might know might not be the way that I think that I know isn't the only way. And that's one thing that I love about learning and just continuing to grow and be accountable because being accountable also means that you're a forever student. So you're not the smartest person in the room.
Right.
So you ain't got to look like the dummy in the room. And
Mm.
nobody has to sit you
Speaking of
down.
that, smartest in the room.
Nobody has to sit you down. Nobody would can sit you down because you already sitting there
Okay.
in another
You already
classroom. You
sat.
understand? You understand? I already sat down with a notebook, mouth closed, pencil out.
Oh, all
But
right
that's
now.
neither here nor there. The point
Well, I
that I'm
mean,
a
and this just goes to speak on like, you're talking about how you're you hold yourself accountable, but you don't have no other choice. You don't have no other choice. You are raising a young person. You have to keep yourself accountable. You have
Yeah.
to hold yourself accountable. You make a mistake, you got to be able to say, my bad. I'm
Mhm.
sorry. That wasn't
Mhm.
right. I had a moment of weakness, because guess what? What a lot of people don't understand is that children look up to their parents as if they are their heroes.
Yeah.
And do you know how important it is for somebody to hear their hero say, I'm sorry, I made a mistake? That
Yeah.
is very important. That's very, very important. And at the end of the day, no matter what is said or how it is being said, at the end of the day, let it be known that relationships with children is supported over on this channel. Okay? We
Yes.
want
100%.
every parent to have a relationship with their children, even if we think right now they're not doing their best.
Yeah.
Because guess what? At the end of the day, you're a human being before you're a parent.
That's
You
right.
were a human being before you were a parent. You're going to make mistakes, and you are allowed to do so. What you're not allowed to do is to make those mistakes and then turn the other cheek thinking that it's going to be okay because your child is too young to understand. That's
Mhm.
not okay. Because at the end of
Never.
the day, it doesn't matter if you think that your child doesn't understand, your child remembers.
Ooh.
And they may not know exactly what's going on right now, but they'll remember. And when they do start to understand, when they do start to process information, they're going to go back to that memory and they're going to say, that wasn't it.
Yep.
So parents out there who think that maybe this is turning into a slanderous podcast about parents, no, it's an angry parent who's angry because they need help. They need someone to step up, not just be a partner in the situation, but to be a parent to this child, to be a co-parent with the other parent. That's needed.
Yeah.
That's needed. But people don't understand that it's a conversation that needs to happen between two adults, and it needs to be an adult conversation, not a conversation that is involving a child in the middle of it,
Yeah.
weaponizing that child against one another. That's not
Yeah.
okay.
Mhm.
That's not okay.
And that's where
So,
I take several seats and make sure that I either discontinue or revamp the way I conversate with my child and continue to let
mm,
her know. I continue to let her know, if she sees stuff like that, like outside of our home, to just keep your chin high and focus on what you're supposed to be doing and do what you're supposed to do. And that goes with
right.
just trying to maintain that innocence, trying to maintain the what you said. You said this a long time ago, or when we first met, like rose colored
Oh,
glasses.
the rose-colored glasses.
Yeah, like trying to like clean that off of her and put that back on her face. Like I feel like that's my job
Yeah.
every day. And then,
Like a
sometimes
child should have some naivety. A child should still be a little naive, and it definitely it speaks volumes when a child can be really coherent about a situation that they shouldn't
mm,
even know anything about.
yeah.
And
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
great that your child has, you have a very, very intelligent young girl. She's very
Thank
intelligent,
you.
and that's
Thank you.
great that she's intelligent. I love that she's intelligent. I love that that's celebrated and that's cherished. But that doesn't mean that like she shouldn't know about a lot of the stuff that you know she's aware of. You know what I'm saying? That makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't want to
Yeah.
misspeak or anything, but
Oh no, I understand. Oh no, I know exactly what I'm
yeah,
picking up what you putting down. And all in all,
yeah. Like there's some things
she
that like just shouldn't she shouldn't even like have any awareness about, and it's not really anybody's fault that she does. It's just like I think sometimes you look at your kid and I don't know about you, but I still think my mom looks at me like I'm still like 6 and 7.
mm,
And so I think sometimes you look at your child and you're just like, oh, that's just my little baby. And it's like, well, your little baby is growing up. And they're picking up on things and they're learning. And it's like, sometimes we don't
yeah.
realize. Like, for example, my nephew, who's speaking more, like he was kind of mute for a couple of years. He's finally starting to like speak and stuff.
Mhm.
And so we cherish and we celebrate his speaking, but he definitely started to pick up on some of the things that we were talking about before, and he wasn't like repeating it. So we were just like, we may have dropped a couple F bombs or called someone a B word or something, and now he's starting to like, say those things, and we're like, okay, we've got to like,
So we gotta stop.
you know,
Yeah.
because it's like before we even know it, we're realizing like he's we can't get mad at him for talking the way that he's been hearing us for years, you know?
Yeah.
Like, he's just repeating what he's hearing. He's learning. And he's, not to, punish, us or my friends. That's our fault. That's our fault that he's like picking up on some of those like really, poor words. So I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, I mean, it's nothing. I mean, you're at the end of the day, that's accountability. Like you're telling yourself that no one has to sit you down and tell you, and no one
No.
is feeding you into delusion in a delusional world where they're making you feel like no, you're perfect and you did nothing wrong and everything that you do is right and you don't have to change nothing. You're over here telling yourself that. That's the whole point of that particular speech and everything that you just
Yeah.
mentioned, especially when it comes to
Yeah.
children. Like one day your child is going to be an
Yeah.
adult. And I think that a lot of parents
Exactly.
they fail to remember that. Like you're talking to this person and you're forgetting that they have words and they have feelings
Mm-hmm.
and they have their own
Mm-hmm.
thoughts. Regardless of who their influence is, they still have their own.
Yeah.
Like I was
Mm-hmm.
heavily influenced by my parents for the longest, and one day it stopped. Like it everybody goes through that. It's not
Yeah.
nothing new under the sun. That's why I said like a lot of stuff that's been happening in my personal life, why I haven't been feeling the need to drop episodes on here is because like there's a lot of revamping in my parenting style that I've been working on for the last couple of months. Really, after the whole incident that happened where, family decided to turn into an op because they got the police involved in stuff that did not needed to be involved and things got escalated in front of my child. So it's like, I had to revamp some things like, I really just don't want you people around my kid anymore. People suck. You're terrible. No one cares about
Mm.
how my daughter feels in situations like this. Nobody's thinking about, wow, is she going to remember this? Is this going to haunt her? Is she going to have bad dreams about this? Is she going to lose sleep? Is it going to affect her school grade or her grades? Is this going to affect the way she interacts with people? No one's thinking about that stuff except me. So when I put my foot down
Yeah.
and say, you know what, you people suck, I'm going to kick you to the curb and go on about my day. Now I'm the enemy. Now I'm the enemy of the state. Now I'm a loser, and everyone's telling my business and running their mouth and meeting up at Waffle House and talking about my business. And it's like none of y'all were
Oof.
there when it happened, but that's cool. Keep talking about it because one day, you're gonna justify being disrespectful to me, and the person that's gonna affect the most is the person that you're running your mouth to. Because I don't care. I'm over here still making money, doing what I'm doing a podcast episode, still out here putting videos
Yeah.
out. By the way, I got my own Xbox. There's a whole vlog that
Hey.
I was supposed to post. I never posted it. I might post it like in between one of my other videos. But like I had a little heart to
Mm.
heart moment with myself. Like I got my own Xbox. I don't got to play on nobody else's. I can link up with my friends and be like, I'm online and you online. All the little cheesy stuff. Because at one
Yeah.
point I was a child and now I'm an adult. And I think back to all the times that when I was a child, that stuff really mattered to me. And so that's the thing that as a mother I always have to remember. It's like one day my daughter's going to be an adult, but I got to protect that inner child. I got to protect the child that she is now. So when she gets older, she can always safely go back to that inner child and say, "Oh, I need a moment. Where's my comfort shows?" Like she loves Garfield. She loves Masha and Bear, and that's like those are her comfort shows. Like, mommy, can you come
Yeah.
lay in here and meet with me and watch these? And I'm like, but I do it anyway because the only reason why I get attitude, not Garfield. I like Garfield. I don't mind watching Garfield. The show that be getting on my nerves is Masha and Bear. Because Masha is so bad. Like she is terrible, and Janaya just be eating it up. She just be watching it and just be cracking up. And I'd be like, Naya, this really is your show. Like, you're going to be 30 and watching this. And she was like, what? And I'm like, I'm watching American Dad, Janaya. It's like, this is your thing. This is what you're going to, whenever you need a moment to feel balance as you get older, you're going to come back to watching Masha and Bear. And she's like, really? I'm like, yeah, girl. Like, I can see it. Like, I said, what do you see me in here watching? You always watching anime, you always watching American Dad and Stan being weird, and you always watching that alien, that robot show with the future. And I was like, yeah, girl, because I was watching that when I was your age. It's like that's
Well,
and
at
so
least you're
it's like,
teaching her that it's like there's nothing wrong with like healing your inner child.
I mean, well, because apparently I'm a loser, so I'll be a loser as long as my daughter understands the basic, intricate details. I mean, I don't know, not even basic
Well,
really,
your
but the
your
intricate.
child may not have to heal her inner child because you're teaching her. You're letting her be a kid now.
Well, so I
A
guess I'm
lot of
not a
people.
loser
That's why
after
you got a
all.
lot of grown children, run around in these streets because they had their childhood robbed from them, and didn't nobody ever teach them that they can heal that inner child now.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with it. But when somebody tries to heal their inner child, or they try to have a moment where they kind of appeal to their inner child, they get called a loser. So of
Ooh.
course, people have a hard time dealing with
And see, in the
their
mature
childhood
side of
issues.
I promise, like the mature side of me, right? The accountable side is like, sometimes people just don't know. They just don't know what it appears to be. Like they tell themselves that this is what it looks like, but it's like you can't try to rob people of perspective. And that's one of the main reasons why it may seem like we're being messy, but in reality it's like no, people are messy and nasty and trifling and liars. So if I keep my distance away from you and don't talk to you, change my phone number, change my last name, change all aliases, you can't contact me, we ain't even kin no more, you are dead to me. It's because for the longest you probably try to rob me of my inner child. You try to
Mm,
change my perspective and try to make me see life the way you see life. Now, going back to the very beginning of
right.
what we said, controlling the narrative. And then on top
Control
of
the
all of
narrative.
this, you continue to spew out negative energy to the one person that I am responsible for. When I am in the grave, hopefully before her, right? When I'm in the grave, I do not need her looking down at my headstone like this woman did nothing but just feed me and clothe me. I need her to look at that grave like, yeah, I'm set for life because my mama set me up right. And I can't have
Mm.
y'all ghouls and goblins out here
Cool.
trying to rob me and my daughter of my peace. I mean, that's what it really boils down to. Yeah, we catching up
Hmm.
because people was about to get catched up. You know what I'm saying? Not in
Oh
the
gosh.
PG-13 way. All right,
Oh.
we wasn't gonna use ketchup on this crime scene. We was gonna use the real thing
Oh.
because
Oh.
people
Hold
just
on.
keep
Speak for yourself
playing.
now. Hold on.
People be playing. Okay, I'm talking about really playing. Like, chill out. First of all,
They do.
life is what it
They
is.
do.
Everybody has their ups and downs. Everybody goes left. Some people go right. Whatever the case may be. But don't you ever sit up there and tell yourself that you can control what people see, how they feel, and what they think, and then try to demonize them because they don't do what you want them to do. Take that
Yeah.
elsewhere and go sit on it
Mm.
yourself.
Ooh.
I'm just tired.
I
I'm
can sit
tired.
on that.
Quit trying to tell me how to feel and how I'm supposed to be and what I'm supposed to be doing. What kind of world am I living in where the people that's closest to me, well, not closest to me in like a loving, sincere way, but people that have a little bit of access, like they can kind of see what I'm doing or where I live or whatever. These people that are close to me, right? Being just
Mm.
trifling and trying to dictate my life at my big back age.
Oh,
Oh,
not big bag. Not
and it's
big
going down
bag.
little by little.
All
It went
right.
down a smidge, just a smidge. But it's like, what is
Okay.
going on between the sheets in my home? Like, how
Oh,
come
not.
you know, let me live my life. I'm just tired.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know what? To be real messy, one thing that
Mm.
was said, and
Mm.
this doesn't involve any children or anything like that or whatever. But one thing that
Mm-hmm.
was said to me in conversation between me and an adult, they were trying to say, that, or I guess it did kind of, well, it doesn't involve the child, but it is, but it doesn't. But
But it
they
was
try
in
to say,
reference to
yeah, like
or something like that.
the conversation was you bringing all these men around my child.
Mm.
And like
Mm.
somebody in my family, when I spoke with them about it, they pointed out that, hold on, if you gonna point fingers that way, well, let's go to your side. Do you have a bunch of male friends, or do you have a bunch of female friends? All
Mm.
right, now, so don't do that. Don't sit up there and try to pin. You can't do that. You can't sit
Well,
up
it's
there
like
and
I mean that kind of statement always just like it just tickles me because it's like you dated me.
oh, well,
We
well,
was together.
ooh,
So what you claiming on me, friend? Because you was a part of this situation too. Once upon a time,
ooh,
you
ooh.
know who I am. You know what I'm about. Why you suddenly because we're not together? I'm just a completely different person now. That's how
My
that
thing is, why does it
works.
matter? Why does it matter what
It
I'm
don't
doing? It
matter.
ain't got
It don't
nothing to do
matter.
with the price of tea in
How
China
about
or the price of rice.
well, but when people say statements like that, you know what it just enlightens you about is clearly they thought about you quite a bit. Clearly,
And it's crazy because I'm
because
over here losing sleep, and it ain't for the same reasons. Wow.
not for the same reason. Not for the same reason. That's crazy.
Mm-mm. I lose sleep because I should have finished editing a video, but instead I stayed awake and watched Futurama. We not the same. We
We
is
not
not
the
the,
same.
we not the same, boo.
We are not the same, boo.
No,
No, no bookie.
no,
I need to that
no.
word.
Who?
Bookie.
Nope. Nope, that's where you lose me. Nope, I don't like that word. Any man that thinks about trying to date me, want to date me, don't you dare call me your bookie. I will bookie my fist in your
Well,
throat.
any man who calls you Buki is questionable. Just saying.
Okay,
That's
see?
definitely more.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Perfect. That's perfect for me then,
Yeah.
because that's
See,
the way my life is
yeah.
set up.
If your man
Absolutely.
calls you Buki, you need to tell him, okay, sis, get out.
Wow.
You gotta go, sis.
Wow. But
Should no man be calling you no Buki.
and pause on that before I forget. I actually have you all will actually get a little details soon because I've been working with my
Mm,
professor about what happened in my personal life. Like I
mm,
basically wrote a short film and it's based off of a true story talking about what recently happened, and yes, the police got involved, and basically people wanted me locked up, clink clink. People wanted my daughter
mm,
to live without her mother. They wanted me to be arrested, have stuff on my record, all this stuff.
mm.
Me of all people. If you know me or have been around me or hung out with me and you genuinely know the type of person that I am and you know what I be doing, what I'm about, I'm sure you probably clutched your pearls, you probably gasped
Mm.
and, question who on God's green earth is trying to get you locked up. You would be no, you may not be surprised if you know me.
Why
Shoot.
not?
Like you might not be surprised. I know one person who ain't gonna be who isn't surprised, and she's
Mm,
never surprised,
mm-mm.
never. But I wanted to put that out there.
Never.
That here soon
Mm.
there will be a short film that we're gonna be filming and all that stuff here soon, and it's gonna probably put a bad taste in some people's mouth about my childhood. It's you about to
Well,
see it all. You about to see all the things that had happened, that was happening, and did happen, that made me the
there's
person I
somebody out there
am
who probably
today.
needs to see it, though. So
Yeah.
if it puts a bad taste in people's mouth, well, swallow it and realize what just happened, and then work on that. Period.
I mean, yeah, some people's toes is definitely gonna get stepped on heavy, and I'm okay with that. I
Well,
saw something.
guess what?
Somebody said. Actually,
You know what
somebody.
my whole thing is. If you didn't want it to become a thing, shouldn't
Ooh,
have done it.
ooh, that part. Ooh,
Period.
ooh.
If you were so concerned about your image, if you were so concerned about your reputation, maybe that should have been on the forefront of your mind before you did whatever kind of ill shit you did.
Yeah. And I
So
keep forgetting you was on the phone the last time that I was in the presence of the enemy. You was on the phone and heard it. You heard the beats on the door. Y'all,
not in
so
the
this goes
presence of the enemy.
because that's just what it is at this point. So basically,
That's funny.
just to give you
Yes, I
guys
was. I was there.
you was. So
I
how Drew just
was. Well, I was
said
on the phone. I wasn't there. Oh
you
yeah,
was
no,
on the
I
phone.
got to witness firsthand. Well, I don't know if I want to say witness, but let me just say, you're not. This isn't falling on deaf ears over here. Okay, I bear
Mm-hmm.
witness to some of the claims, so
Mm-hmm.
you
And
ain't gotta convince me of nothing.
yeah. So basically, if you go on my YouTube channel and see when me and Drew played, what game was we playing? Gears of War 2.
Probably Gears of War. Yeah.
It was the last, and hopefully we don't play none between now and when I post this, because I'm gonna be like, that was the last, and then he'll tell me we have like 3 more. But anyway, it was a live video, a live stream on YouTube, and I'm in a room, and I want to say the room was orange or something, I don't know. But if you go to that live stream, just watch it, if you just, check my body language, I probably look super stressed, vexed, and perplexed. Well, that's because I was in the presence of the enemy, right? So after we ended the live stream, I text Drew and I was like, "Can you just please stay on the phone with me because something's something's in just itching. I feel something getting ready to creep up and happen, and I'm just trying to hurry up and get my stuff and get up out of here and go, rest my head somewhere else for the night." And of course, Drew heard it. He heard the
Mm-hmm.
beatbox on the door, and it was
Ooh.
crazy. Somebody was basically trying to break the door down over a bathroom rug at 9, 10 o'clock at night. And I was the problem. It was my fault because they needed the bathroom rug that bad at 10 o'clock at night. They needed it so bad that they was ready to break the door down and calling
It's
the
nuts.
what's
So,
the Calvary. Because I think at some point somebody texts me, "Can you please just let her get the bathroom rug?" Damn. And I'm like, at 10 o'clock at night? What?
It's like, what? Why? And
Yeah.
I don't even know if I can get into that because to me it's just crazy. That's crazy. Someone has become so desensitized to people's antics that instead of questioning this person, like, why are you texting me about this situation? Instead of doing that, they decided to
Oh.
text you and be like, can you just do this or she'll leave me alone? And it's like,
Mm,
why have y'all allowed this behavior for so long to the point to where this person feels comfortable doing it even though they know that
mm,
it's like a burden? Y'all have allowed
mhm.
this behavior for so long. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I need you to make a promise to me. If I'm
Yeah.
ever doing something and it has just gone on for too long, you better sit me down and tell me to like cut it out because I'm gonna tell you now I'm gonna do that for you
Yeah.
because
I
that's
mean,
that's
only
ridiculous
fair.
behavior.
It's only fair. And
That's
it's just
ridiculous
like
behavior.
when I used to, and I'm still struggling with my walk with my Lord and Savior. But when I used to listen to preachers heavily, there was several preachers at a time, at a season, they were preaching on the same. It was like different messages, but the same concept. And one thing that I remember is when they were saying, they all said the same thing, but in different words. They basically said, if someone no longer feels the need to correct you, or they no longer feel the need to invest in um, giving you advice and things like that on just becoming a better version of yourself, self improvement, things like that. That means that you are a broken vending machine, meaning we not refilling the snacks. You are no longer worth
Mm-mm.
value. You're no longer a value to my life because I don't feel the need to say, hey, you're chewing your gum a little loud. And when we go in this meeting, I need you to not do that. That way we look good together. Cool. Cool. Instead of me saying that, I'm like, I'm gonna let you chew that gum because you about to look real silly, and they gonna look at me and be like,
Right.
"Oh, she's the smart one. You're not." Got it. Okay. And
Right.
it's like if people basically don't feel the need to like help you improve life, like they don't feel the need to invest in you anymore, that's a clear indicator that you're not worth the investment. You're just not it. They want you right where you
Well,
at
I mean, it just
because you
indicates a
suck.
lot of things, It indicates poor friendship. It indicates that maybe they're sick of, that might indicate that you are just not receptive to that kind of conversation because maybe they've already told you 2 or 3 times before
Oh,
and they've given up on telling you. Like, there's a lot of things. Like, people don't understand how beneficial it is for you to just take a step back and look inside, do some
mm-hmm.
self-reflection and be like, okay, without anyone even needing to tell me, what is something that I could work on? Like,
Mm,
I had my friend Tiffany come over because we went to the Gazebo Fest. By the way, SZA
to
is
see
amazing in
Scissor.
concert.
Yeah.
If anyone wants to go see SZA in concert, I recommend it. It was
Mm-hmm.
amazing. She's amazing. But we were going to go see SZA, and I needed to clean my home up, and my home was in disarray. I mean, I tell you all the time, like that's one of the reasons why I don't ever really invite anybody over because my home is usually like a wreck.
Mm,
And it's because like I just get an autopilot because I do so much. Like, I play my sports, I go out, I do a lot. So my home sometimes is literally just like the place where I come to like sleep, work, eat, take a shower, and then that's what I use it for. So I kind of treat it poorly.
yeah.
And I did not need not one person to come into my home and say, Drew, what the hell is going on? I did not need that.
Yeah.
I took a step back and I was like, what is something that I could do that I think will help? And I've been working on some mindfulness, like just being
Okay.
mindful. Like before I go to bed, if I have, like I have a coat rack that I put like my hats and stuff on. I wear a lot of hats.
Yeah.
And so, like, if I toss my hat off and I put it on the ottoman or something before I go to bed, I just hang it up.
Yeah.
Make sure that it's just, if I have clothes, because I usually, like, sometimes I'll come in here and I'll, like, change, not necessarily my living room, but, like, I have, like, my socks on my ottoman, or I'll take a t shirt off here when I walk in the door because it's hot and I, do whatever. If I have clothes in here on my ottoman, I just go ahead and put that up before I go to bed. Like, I just do little things like that that helps my home from not looking like a complete wreck if somebody were to just happen to, like what
Mm-hmm.
I'm meaning about all that is like it is super beneficial for a lot of aspects in life for you to like slow down and take a deep breath and check in with yourself and say, what is work that I need to do for myself
Yeah.
without anyone needing to tell me? And you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised on how that translates to other areas of your life. And you'll be surprised at how people will notice the change in you.
Yeah.
You know, whether it's, you being mindful of, you know, saying thank you more, or being mindful of like, not apologizing as much. Like people pay attention to stuff like that, and it makes a huge
Yeah.
difference. And if nobody having to tell you that kind of stuff, and you working on yourself like that is like a skill that is like timeless,
Yeah.
But
I
a
will
lot of people
say,
have no ability to self reflect, like
yeah,
none.
I will say in closing, I will say that one thing that you've mentioned to me that has sat with me, which made me realize that I
Mm,
really am working on myself and I'm actually like
mm-hmm,
practicing those interpersonal skills and tightening up some things. You've
mm,
and you've said it in several episodes and even on the phone. How was I
mm-hmm.
when you first met me? I was he's like, oh,
Girl,
you were a very angry little
girl, I was scared of you. I was scared of you. You was a tough nut to crack, honey. It was scary. I remember one time, I'll never forget it. I came home from work one day and you like had a rough day at work that day. And I came home and I was like, oh my God. Like, she's like angry. Like she's like an angry girl. And it made me question because I was like, do I want to like be friends with her? Because I do not want to get on her bad side, like at all. Luckily, I trucked along, but I'm not gonna lie, girl. I'm gonna be very honest. I was like, I don't know about this one because she is angry, and if I say something or do something, she might like snap at me or something. And we worked,
Yeah.
But
And then but
you
what has
turned it around,
happened?
girl. You turned
See?
it around, honey. You've opened up. You've opened up to me a lot, like a lot. Like I think me and you have become really, really good friends.
Mhm.
And because sometimes you can be really good friends with somebody and like it still be very surface level. And I feel like
Yeah.
me and you have surpassed that. Like I think we have conversations that are beyond the surface, and we really have gotten to like know each other and know what we need out of one another's friendship, if that
Yeah.
makes any sense. Like I know
Yeah.
what you need from me, and you know what I need from you,
Yeah.
and we provide that for one another. And
Aw.
that's a really, really good friendship, considering we've only known each other for almost, well, no, it's been a little over a year now.
Oh my goodness, I still haven't done the year anniversary
It's been
recap.
about a year and a half now.
It,
We've known because we started working together, so it's been about a year and a half.
it's been a year. But that's what happens when you are with like-minded individuals and people who genuinely wake up thinking like, how
Yeah,
can I provide laughter and love to the world? I feel like we both operate
yeah,
on that level. Like, how can I provide positive energy? We don't think about trying to take anything away from people or trying to ruin anybody's
no,
day. And if we feel like we're not going to have a
mm-mm.
good day, we kind of just keep it. We just keep ourselves at
Keep,
a cordial.
yeah,
I
yeah.
think that's why we genuinely get along. It's just being around like-minded individuals,
And you know
basically.
what's really crazy? Since we're like bragging on each other,
Oh.
we have like a work relationship. Like our relationship is almost exclusively like work based. I mean, we started working at a job together. We do
Mhm.
a podcast together. We do a lot of like social media stuff together. And so
Mhm.
it's like when you look at it from like when you think about friendships that are built around work, a lot of times those work relationships exist only in working
Work.
scenarios.
Yep.
However, like we've gotten past that. Like we've spent time with one another. We have gone to each other's homes without
Mhm.
there being any camera or anything.
Yep.
And we talk on the phone regularly. Which I will
Mhm.
say, I don't even do that with like my homegirl, like my soul sister. We don't even be talking on the phone as much as me and you talk on the phone. But
Aw.
like I think for two people who have had almost an exclusively work relationship to push past that and become like really good friends, I think that's probably why we have been so successful in some of the things that we've done. Like I do consider our podcast successful. People have been messaging me even up until recently about when are we going to put more videos out? When are we going to put more episodes out? When are we going to get back on the podcast? When are we going to do this? When are we going to do that?
Yeah.
And like these are friends who like do not have to support, like they can just be like, oh
Mhm.
yeah, like watch the video, and they had it like in the background while they were like cleaning or something. Didn't even
Yeah.
listen to it. but they like really are like I'll get notes like Austin will text me and he'll be like, so when you talked about this, y'all got off topic at this point, this point, this point. I thought you said you were gonna
Oh
work on
my
that. And I was like, I
God.
know, I'm trying to work on it. Okay, promise, I really am. I'm
Promise.
trying not to cut Nelly off. I'm trying to stay on topic, and then we have worked
Oh,
on that. But I get like
yeah.
notes and stuff like that, and I love that we get legitimate support. I would love that support to like grow, of course, but
Yeah.
I love that we do have support that's so personal to where like we get feedback, and like I love that. I love hearing
Yeah.
people like saying they love our podcast or they listen to us. Like I had a friend on Facebook. She put out a message. She was like, "Hey, I need like new podcast to listen to," and I was like, you know, shameless plug, but I may have a podcast that I do with my friend.
Hmm.
And she listened to it and she messaged me and she was like, "Oh my gosh, like I love you guys' podcast. Like I'm definitely gonna be like tuning in." And at that point we
Oh,
hadn't put out any
thank
podcasts
you.
in months. But
I
yeah,
know.
we get a lot of support on the side.
I just checked. I'm looking at the last date. April 15th is the last date that we posted an episode. I didn't even know it's been a month. I didn't know that it's been over the month
I
thing.
thought
I
it was
didn't know that.
longer.
So yeah,
I thought it was
yeah.
longer.
Yeah, the last one was April 15th. So we'll definitely I've moved. We'll talk about that on in the next
Yeah,
episode. But I'm
we have
about to
way more to catch up on
oh yeah.
for
Oh yeah,
sure.
yeah, yeah. Because we got a
And
lot.
I'm
But
telling you, the video podcasts will be coming back. They will
yes.
be coming back soon. So y'all get prepared. And maybe for the time being, while things are the way they are and there's a lot of like transitions happening, we may still do them like on this platform.
Yeah.
But when we do make it back to in-person video podcasts, oh, trust me, it will be an event. So
I believe look, I believe it and I'm the host. Look. I'm like, yeah,
okay, I know I'm
it's
over
gonna
the
be
coast talking about y'all stay tuned. Like, girl, like what are you gonna do? You don't even edit. Like, you just get on the mic and talk your shit and get
you
off. Like,
carry the conversation. Don't do that. You definitely
no,
do
I just
more than
overtake it. I
you
talk too
carry it.
much.
You carry
See,
it because
what I
sometimes
need from our friendship is for you to tell me to shut up sometimes. I'm just kidding.
no, because sometimes I'll be like, "Ooh, that's good." Like maybe the thing is, I'm a bigger picture person too. So while we're talking, I'm thinking about ways to continue to connect episodes. I just
She's
like
like,
that's
oh,
just
it's about to eat
so.
them up. They about to run that like button to the ground. I'm just playing.
See, you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. So the balance is there, but I feel like my heart and mind is cleared for takeoff. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I feel good. I feel good about what we said.
Okay.
I got
Okay.
I did end up getting impassioned, so I guess I lived up to my reputation of still talking as if I'm angry at the world. So
I
that's
mean,
good.
it's okay. Look, I had my hard girl era and now I'm in my soft girl era. So you have the right.
We
It is
switched
human right.
places. We
Balance.
switched places. Yeah, yin and
Balance.
yang, honey.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yin and yang.
Don't look, because the last visual episode, I think I were all black and you was wearing all gray. And you had the gray mic and the white headphones. Listen, it
But
just be working.
that's my color palette, black and gray. That's like all I wear.
And low key is mine too. You got on all black right now? Are we twinning?
No, I'm wearing like a tan shirt.
Oh, okay. Well,
Is
either
that
way it goes.
is that outside of my home? Oh,
Well, and on that note,
sorry.
thank you
Uh-oh.
all so much for tuning in to the Nelly Drayton Show, where creatives gather to kind of sort of figure it out. I'm your host,
Okay.
Nelly Drayton, and I got LOL, probably Drew. Show us some love, listener support, all that good stuff. The YouTube links is attached to the podcast. Tap in and get close to us. Come sit at the table. We love y'all, and we will be talking to y'all soon.
Bye.